Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I hope you guys all had a Happy New Year and a Merry Christmas. So this year I wanted to start the first video of the year off a little something different, like a car check, because I know a lot of you guys are new to the channel and some of you guys may be wondering what's done to the car. So let's get started. Alright, so this is my 96 Acura Integra LS Coupe. Had this car for about 2.5 to 3 years. When I got the car, it was completely stock besides some Raceland coilovers and these K1 wheels. A lot's changed over the past 2.5, 3 years. So let me show you around the car a bit. So starting up front, we have a DB6 SIRG front end with chrome housing headlights. The OEM lip. This is actually the spare bumper because if you remember in my last video, I did a video where I shaved the tag bracket. So this is just the spare bumper. As you can see, it has some damage on it. I just have to wrap that bumper and stick that on. On the hood, we have Aero Catch hood latches, Backyard Civic vents, and then we have a Top One Motorsports tow hook. Wheels are 15 by 7.5 cozy K1s. I believe the offset is about 38. OEM side markers. NV composite fender vents. The side skirts are Trackworks Aero. They're actually the company that made a lot of the aero for the Time Attack Type R. I actually drove to Canada and went to their warehouse where they made these and got to see the Time Attack Type R and the supercharged, I believe it's a Suzuki Swift. I'll post a picture of it right here. But the difference between these and the PCIs are these kick out a little bit further at the bottom here. Moving to the top. I have a custom fiberglass sunroof delete that I made myself. If you're interested in that, you can go back a couple videos and you can see that. The wing is PCI uprights and Backyard Civic element. The rear tow hook is also by Top One. Has a K-tune turn down exhaust. We'll get more to that when we get under the car. But pretty much that's the outside. It's pretty basic. Besides the shaved moldings on the side. But let's take a look at the interior. So inside we have a pair of NRG fiberglass bucket seats with 5-point harnesses. The driver's side has a PCI seat rail non-adjustable. The passenger side is just on a cheap eBay one for now. The dash, all the little vents have like these carbon fiber plates that I made. Clock delete, airbag tray, the vents on that side, center console. It's got a hybrid racing shifter with the RFAB shift knob and the RFAB shifter plate, which deletes the stabilizer linkage, so there's only one linkage that goes straight to the transmission's shift selector. Feels amazing. This little plate right here is made by Rope Designs. They actually custom did this for me, 3D printed. Has a Rev High Drive Happy logo on there. Old Momo steering wheel. This thing's pretty beat. Probably going to be replacing that pretty soon. Have innovative air fuel ratio gauge here, and this is a Defi oil pressure gauge, which I'm not going to be using anymore. It's just sitting in there because there's a big gaping hole. I have a wire wear digital cluster. I'll cut that on for you. So this is what the cluster looks like. The car's kind of loud, but it has a lot of settings that you can change. Once you reach up to like the VTEC, the background lights up. It says Rev High Drive Happy. But this car doesn't have VTEC, so I just use that as like a shift point on the street. Moving along, we have the Broadway mirror. It helps a lot with the track because once you have a helmet on, it's not as easy to see out the quarter windows. And this is what the fiberglass sunroof plug looks like from the underneath. I also have an RFAB pedal set with the dead pedal. These floor plates are PCI/password JDM. These are discontinued now, but I have those on both sides. Coming around to the rear, we have an auto power 4-point roll bar, and then we also have the PLM X brace. The bottom bar is out because when I go to the track, it's easier to slide the tires up underneath of there. I usually have it on some quick release hinges. This bar right here is RFAB trunk brace, and the one behind it is an OEM Integra Type R brace. Also, I forgot to mention, this car has over 5,000 rivets in it. If you could see, I went through and riveted every seam in the car all the way up to the firewall. It's kind of hard to see everything because they kind of just blend in since I painted over everything, but they're throughout the car. Door frame. That actually makes the car a lot stiffer. So right now let's go check out the engine bay. So here's the engine bay. Not the cleanest, but it gets the job done. It's not cluttered. So starting at the front, we have a Koyo tuck or pocket radiator. It cools really well. The reason I went with this is because I'm running the PLM BZ style headers and I couldn't retain the factory full size radiator because it wouldn't clear. Future plans for this radiator, I'm going to duct it because I'm pretty sure when the air comes in it just goes over the radiator instead of through it. But the car doesn't overheat or anything. I just think it'll be more efficient. We have just like an eBay coolant reservoir, pretty cheap, 20 bucks. The motor is a B20 high compression. The transmission is a Civic SIR, like 92 to 95 LSD. So it has real quick gears. The bottom end of the motor is stock, besides a ACL high volume fuel pump and a Moroso 5-quart oil pan with the sump on the back. The head has Brian Crowder Stage 2 cams and valve train. We have the Burton Racing coil on plug conversion kit with the VSM distributor cap delete. Just a regular blocks 6-inch velocity stack with the filter. Victor X intake manifold, AEM fuel pressure rail and gauge. It's the stock injectors. We have the Valix Racing ABS delete kit back here. It comes with all the stainless lines. Runs about 150, 160 bucks. Only thing you have to provide is the proportion valve, which is pretty cool. We have the tuck clutch line, innovative mounts. This is a custom strut bar that I made myself because I wanted to keep that top one tow hook. And this is pretty beefy, solid. RFAB battery tie down. Down here, I don't know if you could see it, but there's the front bar of a traction bar. I don't have the legs that go to the control arms. I actually just use that as a jacket point so I don't bend up this JDM front one. But other than that, the engine bay is pretty much stock. It's a relatively stock motor. It runs really well. Don't hesitate to drive this thing 2 hours to get to the track, race all day, and then drive home. So I guess now we'll move on to the suspension. Let me jack this car up real quick and pull the wheel off, and I'll show you everything that's done. And just in case you were wondering, the car is wrapped. I wrapped it myself. It was like $300 for enough to do the whole car. Still have to do the bumpers, waiting for a new rear bumper, and I'm not sure what I'm doing with the hood yet. But moving on to the suspension. have poor man's Type R brakes, Prelude calipers in the front, Mini Cooper rotors. I don't know if you could see, but these little spacers are by Athena Motorsports. They're like 60 bucks for the set. That's way the rotor doesn't rock back and forth. We have stainless steel lines. The suspension is TN Super Streets. They ride really well. Up top, we have Skunk 2 arms with ESM spherical ball joints. This car rides like a dream. You also have the ESM outer spherical tie rods. Skunk 2 spherical lower control arms in the front. And ESM extended lower ball joints, spherical also. So pretty much everything in the front suspension besides the compliance bushings and the bushings up right here are all spherical. Hope to upgrade the rest pretty soon. So in the rear we have an ASR rear subframe brace, ASR 24mm sway bar, spherical end links on there. We just have some cheap EM USA rear control arms. The bushings were busted in the OEM ones, so I bought these for pretty cheap just for the bushings, but these will be changed eventually because I've noticed one of the bushings is cracking. The rear brakes are all stock besides stainless steel lines. Alright guys, so that's pretty much going to wrap it up for the car check video. I know it's been at least a month since I made a video. You know, just getting things taken care of with Christmas and stuff like that. So I'm going to be back on the grind now, shooting to get the car back out to the track as soon as possible. I know I missed some stuff in this car check because I didn't even mention the ECU or anything like that. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm always down to help you guys out or share the knowledge that I do have. That's why I make this channel. But also, we finally got some t-shirts. If you're interested in grabbing one of these, they're on Teespring. That's teespring.com/stores/RevHighDriveHappy. I'll leave a link down below. We have t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, women's t-shirts, and children's shirts. So feel free to pick up one of those if you want to support the channel. And until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.